recording?
Yes, sir.
I feel like I am walking back into the arms of an estranged mother right now.
I feel as though I've made love with a woman for my formative years and then left her to go sow my wild oats and then have returned to her home where she has stayed and only gotten more beautiful.
She still accepts you?
Yes.
I feel like my mother gave birth to me, and I got to walk around for 29 years, and then I got to crawl right back inside of her, and I feel so comfortable.
I do feel like I'm inside of a vagina.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be so cute? You live in your mom's womb again?
It would be really nice. I bet she would love it.
Aww.
She misses me.
And she could just kind of feel you in there being a little baby.
Republicans take pictures of you in there, and they're like, "This is what a fetus looks like. Are you okay?" And it turns out you're gay, and they're like, "Never mind. Abortion is okay again."
Gay fetuses are not babies. They're That would be funny if like the only time they think about the science is when the baby's gay.
Right.
It would be really scary to put my 230-pound body into my mom's 150-pound frame.
It's just a clump of gay cells.
Yeah, it's just a clump of cells. It's a clump of cells that loves listening to. Go ahead, Matt. Who have you been listening to lately?
Oh, music-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, really bad music.
I've decided to not make any because references are problematic because you're generalizing when you make a reference.
Oh, you can
the
generalize
joke.
with me.
No. So I've decided to throw all of my references to other people.
I've just been listening to, honestly, I love Charlie XCX's earlier albums.
Charlie XCX.
And I've been listening to Mariah Carey's earlier albums, like Daydream.
Oh. Do you know those work as full albums? Because I feel like she's a little bit of a singles queen.
Mariah Carey?
Yeah.
No, Mariah Carey is an incredible songwriter.
The gays are gonna come after you.
Yeah, come at me, okay?
I think that's a fair statement because it's like an Ariana Grande. You would think she probably has like 4 bangers and the rest is trash.
Yeah.
But Mariah Carey, most people didn't know this. She just got indicted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
She was sued.
She was indicted.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Inducted.
She got indoctrinated into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And
you do know a lot of words, you just don't know exactly where to put them sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know what the right one is.
You just have
That's
a
my biggest
scrambled
flaw.
dictionary.
Yeah, she is a songwriter, and she writes almost all the songs in her albums.
Yeah.
But yes, I just listened to Daydream cover to cover, and I mean that album came out in '95, and that was back when you would get a CD and you would listen to the whole album.
Right.
So it's like a full, it's a full.
But there were
album.
still motherfuckers who were putting out CDs that were garbage. Like every CD I listened to when I was younger was that, and every other. You would buy a CD and you'd be like, "Oh, that's great," fucking. KoRN has 20 songs on this album, and then you'd be like,
I don't know if I would recognize a KoRN song.
Oh, you would recognize.
You probably would, even
or I
if
wouldn't know that it. I don't know what they sound like.
It's almost like like the smell of cum, where even if you haven't smelled it, like if you heard KoRN, you'd be like, "This got to be KoRN."
Right, this is KoRN.
Is it that clip from TikTok that's?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. Now you're being offensive to KoRN.
No, but there's that. Do you know that clip that's like? Is that KoRN?
I don't think so. I also have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh.
I begged. My cousin was a big metalhead, and I begged her to take me to Ozfest because KoRN was playing there.
You're a big KoRN fan.
I was truly a big KoRN fan, even though I didn't like their whole albums. I would like 5 songs off an album. When you're a kid, you're like, that's enough to devote my life to this group of people. This will be 5 songs.
Yeah.
And I begged my cousin to take me to Ozfest, and she was like, okay, well, if your parents say okay, and they were like, no. Then I realized, looking back on it, I was like, oh, I'd be a 13-year-old in a polo at Ozfest. Like, I would have gotten molested so quickly.
You would have been very confused as to what was going on around.
I would have no idea.
Yeah.
Is Ozfest Ozzy Osbourne's festival?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Not
metalhead.
Not Sharon Osbourne.
Yeah, Sharon Osbourne's fest. All right, we're going to make a festival where I say offensive things towards people who work for me.
Who is the younger? Kelly Osbourne is the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Daddy don't preach.
She has a tattoo of a keyboard because she doesn't give a fuck. What about Primus? You ever listen to Primus?
Yeah, I listen to a little Primus, too.
That's what I
Did you listen to Metallica?
I listened to every song that every band that like a white kid who's gonna turn into a bad guy would listen to. That's what I listened to for
Limp
a long
Bizkit?
time. Yeah, I loved Limp Bizkit.
Really?
Oh my god, yeah, I thought Limp Bizkit. I loved rap rock.
Yeah.
Rap rock was awesome to me.
Okay, this is so bizarre. Yesterday I woke up and I was cleaning up an after hours party. A friend was
That's what
like,
it's called.
I know. It's
Rap rock.
It's just hilarious to think about, like Kid
Or
Rock.
rap metal, or however you would describe it, but it's like I would listen to Zach De La Rocha's spin-off projects. One Day as a Lion is the name of a band that he created with a group, and I was eating that shit up.
Not even Rage.
what band was he in?
He was in Rage Against the Machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is Rage. No.
No, that's not true.
I woke
I
up
know.
yesterday
Tom
and
Morello,
craving
respect.
the song Wish I Could Turn Back Time
Yeah.
to the good
Oh,
old days.
God.
I've never, ever, I didn't even know who sang it. But you sometimes get a song in your head and you're like, I
Sure.
just have to hear it because I've heard it in a mall like 3,000 times.
Yeah.
And so I listened to it on repeat yesterday like 5 times in a row and it felt so good.
That is such a mall song. The amount of like
It has 1.7 billion plays.
the
on
amount of
Spotify.
14-year-olds who listen to that song while they
What?
learned how to harass women is crazy.
That's true.
The first
for sure.
time a child catcalled, it was most likely to that song. I feel like malls are. No one talks about how offensive malls were.
Malls
How
are
so?
the
Kids would go nuts in malls, dude.
malls
Yeah,
are.
I'd go
It's a
nuts.
place to wild out. We would go there every weekend,
And kids would run amok.
I would be. One time, I climbed into the the claw machine that gets the toys. I
Yeah.
paid for it, and I didn't get a toy. So then my friend and I climbed inside of the machine and just took all the toys out.
Yeah.
Did you get stuck? How big is this machine? How big were you?
It was like the size of this house. I'm just kidding. My friend was much smaller. He was small for his age.
Why did you just lie? Did you just lie?
Why did
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just lie?
Yeah, it was not that big.
But I remember hearing stories of girls going to the mall and then being like, "Oh yeah, this kid who went to another school came up to us and like shoved his hands down our pants as a dare," and me being like, "That was my first inkling of like, okay, that's weird. Like you shouldn't what?"
It's crazy that middle school boys will call sexual assault a dare.
Yeah, they'll do it as a they'll like commit sexual assault as a dare. That's how important dares are to kids back then. If they'll do it.
When you're that young, you think pulling your dick out like is a plan.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's like a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I have something funny that'll really get my friends to think I'm cool.
I mean, it's a good time to do it while you're under 18.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
in
always
terms of like the law, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
it's
like-
always a bad time, but I guess if you had to
if
pick
you're gonna do
best
it,
of the
do
worst.
it while it's not gonna affect you for the rest of your life.
yeah.
On the off chance there is a 13-year-old listening, just keep it in.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
Just the hottest thing you
Yeah,
can do is
do
have
not
your
grab
dick.
girls' tits at the mall as a dare.
If you want to be a cool guy, you know what girls like?
Go ahead.
Is a dick in pants and hands to yourself.
and consent.
Girls love that.
Dick and pant, hands to yourself, a little bit bisexual, just a smidge.
Just get a little bi.
Little bit.
It doesn't. You're in middle school. It just means if you wear a tight shirt, then you're bi.
You're fine.
Middle school, it hasn't like the. Are middle school kids more progressive now?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
They have to be.
I think
Totally.
It's just weird to think of like middle school as such like a vacuum. You know?
You would think that, but no, nothing is. I think that's what we learned is even when you're in like kindergarten, you're getting like signals and messages from society at large, and that dictates your behavior.
Do you know that in kindergarten the only thing they teach is gender now?
Yeah, that is.
Do you know that?
I love that.
Did you hear about this? That's all they teach in fucking California because of Newsom. Did you know that, Matt?
right.
There's a lot of genders.
You don't learn about shapes and colors anymore.
No.
It's just gender.
It's all genders.
Yeah, instead of learning the 51 states, you just learn. Are there 51? 50.
States?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 51 including Hawaii and Alaska.
Yeah.
No,
No, you just
it's-
learn the 51.
No, it's 50, and then I think Puerto Rico is kind of involved, so you might want to call that 51.
Yeah. Well,
But
we're
the 50
progressive,
includes
so
Hawaii and
we
Alaska.
like to-
Do they?
100%.
We're
Oh, I'm
progressive,
sorry.
so we include
Guaranteed.
Puerto Rico as a 50.
I thought it
What is
was.
that?
It's so crazy. I don't even know the amount of states there are.
What
But
was
you know
that?
what I do know?
I was surprised
The
that
amount of
both of you
genders.
didn't.
Yeah, I thought it was 51.
It's fine.
But we can name
Lewis,
off.
check. Look that up.
So it's all
Don't look. It's not worth
But it
looking
is
up.
50, yeah, I'm
Don't
pretty
look
sure.
it up.
Yeah, I think it is true. There's 151 Pokemon in the first generation. That's why I got it mixed up.
I used to go to gym class. Now kids go to non-binary class. You fucking know that? Fucking me and JK are anyway.
So the funny thing is, people do argue. Do you know the whole thing in Florida where they were being like, "Oh, you can't discuss gender in classrooms," because they couldn't outright go, which is what they wanted to, which is outright go no gay stuff.
Yeah,
like you can't be like just don't be gay
right
at any point in your life. Like
good
that's
advice.
essentially what Florida was trying to do. But what they ended up doing is be like, you can't discuss gender in class.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is like. It literally is under that law. And I remember calling you and telling you this. And I'm like, I'll bet. This is just me calling myself right in perpetuity. But I remember calling you when I was in an airport and being like, yeah, I'm reading about this because I did get interested in it. And under these laws, it does seem like you can't mention that you have a husband or wife either.
Probably not.
They inadvertently became like the most progressive.
Yeah,
state.
exactly. You cannot mention a partner.
They
like
just
you can't
create
mention
George Washington and his friend who lived with him.
Puerto Rico is potentially the 51st state.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they would not like that either.
You think so?
Maybe not.
I don't know if they're all that happy
It's
about
probably
our
mixed
involvement.
opinions. They would like to have rights because they're all owned by the United States.
Right.
It's crazy that our laws affect them and they're not allowed to vote.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Similar for prisoners.
They're like the 18-year-olds of states.
18-year-olds aren't allowed to vote?
Yeah, right?
No, 18-year-old.
Fuck.
We don't know shit. Hey,
I was fucking right about
we gotta
the
stick to
states.
gay stuff because we don't know nothing on this podcast.
I was playing a good game with my roommates. It's the dumbest game ever, but you just say something, and then the person just has to say something they know about it, and that's the whole game.
Oh,
We
that's
started
cool.
off with sports, lacrosse.
I know that there's a goalie who has a bigger head on his stick than the other people.
That's how you play the game.
Is featured in the movie Mean Girls.
Oh,
That's all you need to do. That's the whole game. If you're ever hanging out with people, it's just
I
not
actually
working
enjoy
out.
this game.
It's good if you live with people too, because then they walk into the room and you're just like Tanzania.
okay.
And then, getting that. so-
Tanzania.
I don't know anything about Tanzania specifically, really.
Neither do I. Sometimes that's how the game goes.
Is in Africa.
Oh well,
Yeah, I could have said that.
Yeah, that's
See,
true.
but that's the thing about
But
the
that,
game
like-
is you forget that is an answer.
right.
Yeah.
That the most basic thing is an answer. You could even just say it's a country, and it's like that is an answer.
That is an answer.
You did answer the question. It was not good to bring this up because it really doesn't lead
I had something I wanted to mention about the mall.
to anything.
Yeah.
Two things. One, these are both big cans of worms. One, malls are the perfect place to indoctrinate children. Like, it's kind of like you're able to put subliminal messaging into their minds. Like, for instance, 21 Pilots, that band. I heard them in the mall all the time, and now I love them.
You just want to listen to 21
And
Pilots.
21 Pilots, I meant to say, is that not current day Limp Bizkit? Like, they're rock rap?
Not at all.
He raps in his songs.
No, not at all.
I know what you're saying, but Limp Bizkit has a much grungier
Okay,
sort
they're
of
too
like
soft. They're
we're
soft
fucked up.
boy.
Yeah.
I don't even think they really make bands like Limp Bizkit anymore.
No, I'm sure they do, but Limp Bizkit is very much like I'm fucked up in the head.
That's when-
that's the ethos. The ethos of Limp Bizkit is like I'm fucked up.
21 Pilots is more like, I'm sad and
Wish
I
I
wish I
could
didn't have to work.
Right.
No, yeah, like Limp Bizkit was the era where you could actually sell white male aggression.
Right.
Like you could sell it.
you still
know?
can.
Yeah.
But like you can't. But
Well,
more like in a movie
where
or
it was
like-
cool to do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess Eminem was very much that.
Totally.
You can't really. Yeah, but I guess it's not so much anymore.
It's a lot. Like if Limp Bizkit came out right now
yeah,
and they had the song "Break Stuff," I think everyone across the board would be like, "We can't do this."
I would be so secretly jacked up about it. I would be dude. I would be listening to that on my bike every time I rode my bike, and I'd go 45 miles an hour everywhere.
I think if Limp Bizkit came out right now, it would only be a matter of months until like a right-wing mass shooter came out that he was a huge Limp Bizkit fan.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I think it would just immediately be part of that. Like, I don't know. That was the whole problem with Woodstock '99. It's very weird. If you see that documentary,
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
the entire thing, they're like, it was.
What's the guy's
fine.
name, the head of it?
Fred Durst.
He was...
Wait, you mean of Limp Bizkit or of the Fred Durst?
He was such a nightmare. And when there was violence outgoing, he was inciting it and encouraging it to keep going.
They were playing.
Who was the really good guy from the other band who was like, hey, we're done? Like, we're not playing anymore.
I forget.
He was the hero of the story.
It wasn't
and I was like,
Oasis
wow,
or
I
something
really
like that.
respect that guy. That was really thoughtful.
Yeah, he like
And because they were the men in the crowds were physically assaulting women.
And like the band members could see it.
Yeah, and they didn't care at all.
Yeah, it was really bad. People were like if any woman crowd surfed, like she was.
Well, there
Getting
should just be
a finger
every
blasted.
band should just have one guy on stage who's like a lawyer, but he gets a microphone,
Yeah.
and he gets to, because I think what we're realizing is most like people who are the front people of bands are sociopaths, right?
Yeah.
Much like many comedians.
Definitely. Travis
So,
Scott.
I mean, Travis Scott is another example of that.
Yeah.
Where he obviously knew that people were like in, at very least, incredible medical duress.
Yeah.
And just didn't do anything about it.
The good guy from the band was the band KoRN.
Yeah.
Whoa, cool.
And he was like, hey guys, please like respect other people. Like he was way ahead of his.
But that makes sense because I think KoRN gets more respect. It's hard. It's funny to say respect.
No,
but
they
KoRN
do.
gets more
You're right.
respect in like the metal community, whereas Limp Bizkit has almost since its inception been a joke.
They're more of a novelty.
So it kind of makes sense where the KoRN, like, I feel like metal bands can go real south and be real bad and violent and stuff, but good metal bands do kind of have this understanding because there is so much chaos at metal concerts. They need to be hyper aware of it, which is why people say, like, oh, Travis Scott was really bad at this sort of thing because Travis Scott has this, like, very punk rock, heavy metal aesthetic, but doesn't really have any grip on like how to run a real metal show.
Yeah, that was a thing with Fred Durst where like it had been building. With
Yeah,
all
Fred
this,
Durst
like,
is probably
very
the same
early
way.
2000s.
Yeah.
But then once he got on stage, he started playing break stuff. And
Yeah.
he was telling people to break stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they started lighting fires, he was like, yes, continue lighting
they
fires.
literally destroyed the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And somebody brought up an interesting point where they were like, and you know, it was terrible, but at the end of the day, Fred Durst did what he was hired to do. Where it's like, that is what Fred Durst does.
Right.
You wanted Limp Bizkit to be there. That's what you get when you invite Limp Bizkit.
That's just so not true. That's just so. No one who hired Fred Durst was like, we want Fred Durst to incite violence.
No, but I'm saying at that point, it almost might have been smart for the like producers of the show to be like, there's no way we can let you go up
But
there.
that's the thing is like, I don't think are
it
the
was too late.
producers there? Are like the showrunners there?
Michael
Do they
Lang
have the
was
ability?
there. Yeah.
Oh, in that case, yeah, it's
Yeah,
mostly
they were
their
all
fault.
freaking out.
Michael
and
Lang
it
is
was-
also, he did the first Woodstock, and the first Woodstock is not talked about how it was in many ways an absolute catastrophe.
Oh my god,
And,
dude!
like-
I love how people are like, "Oh yeah, the first Woodstock was like awesome. It destroyed a town."
Destroyed a town, it destroyed all that land. People are just fucking shitting on the ground.
Oh my
People-
god, it was horrible.
I think a guy died, and
I wonder,
like,
do they have any? Is there any video footage of that one?
there is a humongous amount of video.
Yeah.
footage.
They should make a
there's
doc.
there's an entire, a very famous movie already.
but it's really
That is, like,
easy.
Woodstock?
Every single act, yeah.
Yeah, people didn't have a ton of cameras like they did during the last Woodstock, so they just weren't able to capture a lot of it. But it's like, I just love how
captured a lot, to be honest.
Woodstock is the perfect example of like that generation because they were all just like, this is cool, and we're changing the world, and this is how the world changes. Did nothing to change the world. Ruined the infrastructure of a town.
Had a negative effect.
Caused like huge traffic jams that resulted in the death of like, you know, quite a few people because ambulances couldn't get through New York State. New York State Thruway closed, which is always really bad.
Right.
And then the end product is that they just did a bunch of drugs, fucked each other with like probably at least, you know, gray area consent, and then left.
Oh, yeah.
And that was them changing the world.
That's what I like about a lot of those old boomers is that they thought they could change the world by hanging out.
But
Where
they
were like,
thought they could change the world by hanging out and driving. Well, it's this whole thing that that documentary. It's not hypernormalization. It's the other. It's called Century of the Self, and it's all about how like it was the first generation of people to really solidify this idea of individualism, and individualism like ruins the idea of collective action, which is the only thing that gets things done.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of that back then. Could you imagine being a black dude at that time, just surrounded by all those white people, and they're like, "We're all the same,"
We're all
and you're just
exactly
like,
the
"Guys,
same."
we're not doing anything. Like, we're doing absolutely nothing right now."
Right.
I wanted to say that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but KoRN has the vibe where it's like, fuck the system, and we have to work together because they suck, and then Limp Bizkit is just fuck everyone.
I know nothing of the vibe of KoRN.
Well, you're right about
And based on
Rage.
I don't listen to either band, but based on the their presentation on stage, that the leader of KoRN, whatever his name is, he seemed like a really great guy, and it was very much like things are messed up, but like we got to work together. And then Limp Bizkit was just like, fuck everyone, fuck the bitch next to you, fuck everything. You know what I mean? Like,
Fuck the bitch next to you could have literally been a Limp Bizkit album name.
and it would have been like on like
Would have been pretty good, yeah.
My friend had what was the name of that album? Chocolate Starfish, something. They didn't.
Yeah, it's hot dog flavored water, and then I think chocolate
Yeah, it
starfish.
was
Yeah,
named after like
that's
buttholes.
good.
My friend had a signed copy of that, and I
Great.
remember just laughing at him, just being like, "Why do you have a signed Limp Bizkit album?" He was like, "It's gonna be worth money."
right.
And I'm like, do you think it will ever be worth more than it is now?
At this moment.
Like,
And he might be right because the way irony is kind of coming all the way around, you probably could sell it for a good amount now.
yeah, that could be true.
I'd buy it.
You'd buy it?
Yeah, for a few thousand.
Can you still see Primus in concert? Are they still touring?
I have no idea.
I
wonder.
didn't even know that was a band until right now. Okay, other important mall question is when we would always go to this mall called Chihampalas Walk. It was like the mall that we would go to in Bandung, and it was really
Yes.
cool. And they opened up a Krispy Kreme donuts there, and it was huge. This was
Now-
probably 2005.
Now, before the Krispy Kreme, like, what are the stores at the mall? Paint a little picture of the mall for us.
There's like a photo booth like thing where you could like go in and like there's like all these
That's
like
the first thing that comes to mind in the mall.
I mean, we would love to go there. You would all dress up, and it takes 6 pictures, but it's a whole room, and so you'd rent it for like an hour. And there's like wigs and like
Wow.
stuffed animals and like a ball
Oh.
pit, and like you take like group pictures because the mall is a time to like see like like the different cliques of people and be like,
Okay,
we're all-
keep going. What else?
So
is
there's
going
that.
on?
There was the arcade in the mall
Okay.
that had like Dance Dance Revolution, my fave, and they also had like Time Crisis, other things. There was a movie theater. It played 3 movies. It was usually about a month behind whatever America was
Right,
playing.
Sure.
Young Matt was like, "Wait, there's a game where I can listen to Britney Spears."
We're the
is this
the
game?
And I get to pay them to dance.
right.
I'm in.
It's great.
Uh,
Now,
and then there was like there was a massage chair store.
Yes.
And we would like go. Like, this is the worst example of being a middle schooler. Go in there and pretend like, oh, we're gonna buy one of these, but we just sit in the chairs. For
I
2
would do that all
hours.
the time. Yeah,
So bad.
Of course.
And then there was like a on the first floor. There was like a piercing place, so like people would like I got my ears pierced.
So malls are kind of the same everywhere in a way.
yeah. Malls are a universal shithole.
Yeah,
Were the
Universal
brands
Sta-
just different? Were there any American brands?
It was
like-
mostly European brands. Like
yeah.
Did you have like Louis Vuitton or anything like that? Or
You know what? I was so disconnected. Not at that mall.
Okay.
Not at that mall. No, it was more. It was definitely Indonesian boutiques and like more like I don't know, some European brands and stuff. But there was a Krispy Kreme that opened up, and there was a high schooler, and there was a Starbucks, and it was huge. Like everyone was like, "Holy shit, they opened Starbucks here!" I didn't know what Starbucks was, but like the American teachers and everyone would be like, "We got to go to Starbucks. This is crazy." So we would literally on the weekend we would go to the mall and we would all like I would buy a frappuccino and that would be like my thing for the weekend, and we would sit in Starbucks and like play cards, and that was cool. But there was a Krispy Kreme across the street, and there was a high schooler there, and I remember the high schooler sitting around, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I could probably fit 6 Krispy Kreme donuts on my cock." And then I being like a middle schooler, I was
High
like,
school boy or girl?
unclear. And
Well, I thought-
I'm just kidding. Not obviously. This was a male identifying male.
Okay.
Assigned male at birth, identifies as male.
Big
Thanks for
cock.
clarifying, Dan.
you got a little thing on your tooth.
And yeah, you do. It's okay. You're still beautiful.
I didn't mean to call you out.
It's off. You got it. But this guy, this is a high schooler saying this to me in middle school, and I'm like, wow, I can't wait till I'm like older and I can fit like 6 whole 6 whole Krispy Kreme donuts on my dick.
Oh, he said that to you?
He said it. He was like bragging to everyone, and then the other guys were like, "Yeah, I think I could fit like 5," and the other guys like, "Yeah, probably 7 or whatever." But Krispy Kreme donuts are like that thick.
No, they're thinner.
Okay,
They're notoriously smaller than all. I would say Krispy Kreme donuts are about an inch wide. So at that point, he just has
Cooper, how many Krispy Kreme donuts do you think you could fit on your dick?
probably
12.
I feel like 5 to 6 would be fair.
Right.
Right.
Matt, how about you?
I want to go under the assumption. I just think that they are thicker than that at its highest peak. At its highest peak, I would say they're probably like an inch and a half. And also, like, your thighs are in the way. I just don't know.
Yeah, the reason I say 5 to 6 is I feel like the 6th is right. It's like on the tip.
See, I think it's a weird metric
Seems
because
weird to hold.
my dick is wider than them.
Well,
so
that's
it
also
would
the
break
problem.
the donut. But I couldn't fit a single one on my dick because it would rip apart.
That's true.
It would be.
I could at least fit at least half of one.
There's also no way it would keep.
That's safe to say.
I like to put them on soft.
I could probably
yeah.
fit, I will say this, I have a massive pee hole, so I could probably fit about 12 donut holes in my pee hole.
Oh, that's cool. Now that's a better metric.
It's very cool.
And then you're
actually.
ribbed.
Yeah,
No, my penis
cool.
is just the same width as the pee hole. It's just the size of a donut hole. It sucks when I come. It's just a quick vomit. It's just,
No, I would love it if it was just 12, like, bah, 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 bah. And you just hear 11 pops, and you're like, wait. Bah.
yeah, it's loading up.
Yeah, it's loading.
It's literally just like they're churning it.
Right,
as it,
right, like a
they're
Gatling
pushing
gun.
out the toothpaste. It just flops out.
It would be fun
Yeah,
to
it's
take
really sad.
to take a bite of a donut off a guy's dick.
I'm sure it's been done.
Oh, definitely. It's been done in
Damn,
porn
wow.
for sure. I think I've seen that.
Really? Wow, I've not seen that one.
Yeah.
Also, though, if you put a Krispy Kreme donut on your dick, you're compromising the structure of the entire donut. Which at that point, the measurement of it, the thing you're using to measure your dick, the donut, is now different than it was.
I just have to tell you guys, I'm ordering a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts for tomorrow. I'm gonna see what happens.
Matt, are you scared about monkeypox?
Am I scared of it?
Yeah.
No, because I got vaccinated.
You're vaxxed up.
No, I am actually. I did not take.
Wait, quick question.
Yeah.
Monkeypox is relatively new, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know much about it. I don't know much about anything. I don't even know what the word
Well,
indoctrinate
I just
means.
didn't hear any.
But,
I didn't hear any level of.
I got me back.
And you decided to do the bit again.
Not
He
good.
So you did the bit once, and then you decided to do
decided
the
to
same bit again.
Well,
Because
as
of
we
how
all
well
know
it went
with
the first
as we
time.
all know with comedy, if it doesn't make you laugh the first time, you do it again until the audience laughs.
Lewis
Right.
is crying, laughing.
Lewis, he
Lewis
was in
liked it.
Germany. They don't have any humor there, so like.
But I didn't hear any uproar about the monkeypox vaccine.
So, which I found out, I got the monkeypox vaccine 2 weeks ago. The qualifications were that you had to have gonorrhea or syphilis in the past 3 months.
Wow.
I haven't technically had either of those, technically. No, I haven't, but I got syphilis in 2015.
Okay.
And syphilis
Stays
always
in your body.
comes up on, it's a titer system. Like it's like a ratio of like, so 1-to-1, it's been 1-to-1 in my system since I got treated in 2015.
Okay.
But every time I get tested, it always says reactive for syphilis. So I just brought that test that said reactive, even though my doctor was like, yeah, it just means it's dormant. But then I sent that test to all of my friends, and they just changed their names on the test and showed it, and which is illegal. And but now it's available to any man who's on PrEP, which everyone is on PrEP except our producer. And
Should we be treating it like it's a disease just for gay guys? Because wasn't that the issue?
That's
with
the weird
AIDS?
thing about it.
That
Right.
was a big problem.
that's
is
the
we-
weird thing about it is because it can be transferred from. You don't even have to have sex. You don't have to transfer semen or blood. It can be transferred from physical touch or from sweat. So, like, if you play sports, I feel like you should get it.
Yeah.
If you're a trainer, I don't know.
If you're in the club, if you're one of those women that refers to their gay friends as my gays, like
Right.
an insane person,
Right.
you're,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to be hugging in the club, you'll get monkeypox.
I don't understand.
Hey, let's keep just the gay guys getting the vaccine then. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Think about it. The my gays ladies might become extinct. Do you know what I mean?
Also
we have a
disgusted
chance.
by
I
these
know
people?
it has like a 0.01 death rate, so they're not going to be extinct. They're just going to have
No, they'll be extinct.
welts all over their. They'll be extinct from social settings.
Right. Which, hey, that's all I care about is that pump remains fucking pure. The most well-reputable gay bar
Dan just
in the
wants
world.
to be able to go to Pump and have a good time with the
Let
boys.
me go to Pump with the boys.
I've never been to Pump in my life. You have to get it's a double dose vaccine, so I have to wait another 2 weeks. You have to wait 28 days to get the second
But I'm saying
dose.
there's no uproar about like the efficacy of the fucking. No one was like, "This is the government putting a microchip in you."
I think
Well,
'cause
because this is the reason. So COVID, I never took seriously. Sorry, and but I did get vaccinated and boosted.
What do you mean you never took it seriously?
I mean, your boy be out there partying. Your boy,
But
be out there
you
running the
locked
street.
down like when it was at its peaks, correct?
Yeah, I did.
yeah, I think
Oh my god!
he didn't is what he said.
Yeah, you're a
I-
bad guy.
I was very bad during COVID. But I was very smart because I didn't post about it like all the losers. If you're gonna be gays against COVID, just don't post about it.
Wait, so what settings?
I
were you
wasn't
going
against
to?
COVID. I was just against not hanging out with the boys.
But what like settings were you going to
Like
during
big
COVID?
settings?
Yeah.
large events.
But
no,
what,
I
like,
wasn't. It was just me and a group of like 6 or 7 friends who don't
That's
hang out.
fine. You're making it sound. You like to make yourself sound a lot worse than you actually
I
are.
know. I'm a Gryffindor at heart, and I wish I was a Slytherin.
Right.
But so monkeypox, the thing that Harry Potter is a book that came out in the late 90s.
I know. Even
Okay.
it's always been so fucking dumb the entire time.
Right. What
And
has been?
Harry Potter.
Oh.
Even before finding
I thought
out
you were
that,
talking
that
about
J.K.
COVID.
Rowling's a piece of shit. Harry Potter has always, I mean, finally, because she's a piece of shit, you can just openly tell people who like it that they suck dicks.
I love
But,
Harry
like,
Potter.
The amount of people that have so much fun with it is you just want to go up to them and just be like, anything else.
Do you hate Logan Gunselman?
No, is she into it? Then
Logan
I hate.
Gunselman is the biggest Harry Potter
Then
fan
I hate that
know
part of her.
in my life.
You sound like a real Ravenclaw right now.
Yeah, that is very pragmatic of you to have such a staunch, logical opinion on Harry Potter.
Being into astrology.
If you would just
Go
tune
for
a
it.
little more of your Hufflepuff, and chill
being
out.
really into being Hufflepuff is like you can't have kids. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
what?
well, but the
Like,
funny thing is, those are the people who have kids.
I
Based
know.
on Facebook, those are all the only people who are breeding right now are people who put themselves in a camp of Hufflepuff.
And
I'm
they-
sorry, are you into Lord of the Rings?
no,
Are you into Game of Thrones?
no, because I'm not a fucking loser.
Oh, right. You only like the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, I like cool shit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the
I've gotten
coolest
to a
shit
point where
ever.
I'm kind of just accepting. Like, I would never openly make fun of people for that, but like, yeah, I think.
You're doing it on a podcast.
I
You're a
think,
cool guy.
But I'm
You
saying
like
to
Grateful
the,
Dead
but I'm
and
saying
going to therapy.
I'm not saying I'm cool. I'm just saying I'm tired of acting like that shit is not like nerdy as fuck.
I don't think it's an uncommon or unpopular opinion to think liking Harry Potter is
Well,
nerdy.
good.
Like,
Right.
no one's gonna be mad at you if you say that. Like, if you said to
Good.
Logan, you're a nerd. For
no,
liking
people
Harry
will
Potter.
be mad at Cooper for saying
Same
that.
people who like love technology. People who like love technology. It's like you're a fucking loser. Like,
Interesting.
I don't know how else to explain it.
I
You're a
would
little computer baby.
I would agree with you that perhaps it's a thing that people like
The Harry Potter fans
that
call the
maybe
cops on you.
yeah, they're arresting you.
They send an ambulance because they're about to beat the
It's
shit
maybe something. So this is something that like will internally bother me. Is some people have this like clawing nostalgia, and like certain things are made for children, and like the reason why it's made for children, it's not like a trivial thing. It's like this is geared towards someone whose brain has not like fully developed, so they need like these kind of childish stories
Yeah.
to get them through
Damn.
childhood. But the thing is, that's not
Damn,
those people's
Daniel.
fault for liking it. I think that
No.
we're in like a fucking stunted society right now.
That was such a savage way of insulting Harry Potter fan. You're like,
No,
it's
but-
not a bad book. It's just for people whose brains are stunted.
He's making a
Yeah, we're in a stunt. I think a lot of people are stunned. I think the reason why like nostalgia is so big now, and it didn't used to, like, nostalgia wasn't an industry before, like, recently. But now it's all about like, oh, the 90s, like, oh, like this shit. And it's because like I think that there's a real dearth of like creativity and new stuff coming out, and there's not a lot of things for adults. And it's like you can see it from the Disneyfication of social media. It's like you used to be able to kind of post whatever the fuck you wanted on like places like Instagram and or whatever, and now you just can't anymore. Like posts get taken down all the time for essentially no reason. And
what does that have to do with nostalgia?
Because there's no fucking content for adults anymore, like, or very rarely, because it's way more profitable for these companies to make media that appeal to like a wide age range. That's why Harry Potter is so profitable, because they know children will like it, and they also know adults will go and see it again.
That's what I don't get is like I used to watch a lot of SpongeBob, and I love SpongeBob. And sometimes I'll like watch back and be like, oh, it's still funny. But I don't walk around being like, SpongeBob is my thing. Where it's like, why do you not look back at Harry Potter as like, oh yeah, look at that dumbass stupid bullshit I used to like as a kid.
Well, that's a little too far.
No, this dumb, stupid, idiot bullshit where I fucking thought I was a wizard. What a dumb piece of shit I was.
Right.
Ha ha ha, that was so fun. You shouldn't be 30 years old being like, I just got a new cloak. It's like, why don't you get a new job or something? Like, what the fuck is this? Go hiking. Go do something. This isn't a life.
Right.
What do you... And I'm not saying the shit I'm into is cool. I'm not a cool person at all. People don't like me. But this fucking Harry Potter shit is like, fucking die. Like, Lewis is good at technology. Lewis is not a tech guy. Tech guys can suck every dick till they die, because they're the guys that show up to high school with a Google Glass on, and they're like, look at this. And it's like, you're killing us. You're killing yourself and us.
I disagree. So I sort of disagree with the Harry Potter thing. I vehemently disagree with the tech thing, because you can make a lot of money being big into tech.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sure, there's the money there, but I mean...
I still think those are the people who are producing podcasts and like shooting stuff that you want to be in.
It sounds like your beef is with
nerds.
people who dress up for Comic-Con. Because like, how many times have you interacted with Logan? 100 plus. How many times have you interacted with me? Many times. Have we ever talked about Harry Potter with you?
I guess I'm talking about people who talk about Harry Potter.
Okay.
I guess that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so which I think we'd agree. If we interacted with someone and every time we talked with them, they only talked about Harry Potter, we would find them fucking annoying.
I'm making
if I interacted with someone who only talked about Trader Joe's, I would be like, you're fucking annoying.
Exactly. I'm making a very
If I interacted with you and all you did was talk about yourself,
right?
I would be like, so your beef is actually with someone who is only able to talk about one topic. And in that sense, I agree with you.
But there also is just a bully mentality I have of like, I don't believe I'm right. I just accept that I think these things, and it's very hard to stop thinking these things. And I don't know how important it is to stop thinking these things, because they're very specific gripes.
You're also trying to make the podcast a little interesting.
I'm trying to make the
get fired up. It's okay.
I just don't understand people who are like, oh my God, are you so excited for like the new iPhone to drop? And it's like,
no, I think that about adults, and it's like they enjoy. I know everything that people say about it, but it's this fucking war against negativity that I don't like, where it's like, no, you should be a little bit negative sometimes. Like, that's called being a fucking grown-up in the world. And it's like, usually it's this selective form of argument that certain people use, and we're getting away from Harry Potter, but it's like, when I talk about like when I talk about being a little weirded out by people who like Disney, like as adults, like adults who will go to Disneyland stuff, people will be like, "Oh, why are you so negative?" Like, and it's like,
people have fun.
You're negative about stuff too. So the argument can't be negativity as a whole is bad, because that's not an argument. That's being brain dead. Only people who are like in a vegetative state have no negativity. You just select what you're negative about, and it's like, if your argument is, well, specifically that's like a trivial thing to be mad at, it's like, yeah, you're right too, but it's not like I'm banging the drum outside of Disney and like protesting it. But when I see like an adult who has, like dedicated their adult lives to Disney World, I am kind of like, it's a little odd to me.
It's a little odd, and it's fine to dislike these things. It's just not fine to bully people.
Yeah.
Which is what I don't get. Where people are like, let people have fun. You're like, I'm
I'm
not
having
I'm
have
not
fun.
doing a
Yeah.
mass shooting at Disneyland.
Right.
I'm just saying the people that go there all
Not
the time.
no.
And it's
are
weird how
fucking
defensive
losers.
they are because it's like, motherfucker, if you come up to me and you go, hey, Dan, you like swinging a steel mace for fun is weird to me, I would be like, yeah.
And it's the same thing with the Grateful Dead, where I'm like, of course most people hate
It's
it.
the weird defensiveness.
I don't give a fuck.
And I will say this about certain people who like these things. They have this sort of defensiveness around it. And maybe that defensiveness that's like kind of, come about because they are constantly being ridiculed.
And because they were born,
Because
they were
they've
nerds when they were young.
They've made it a part of their identity. It's who they are. Whereas
Right.
you identify as like a comedian.
But if you say
whatever.
anything I identify with is stupid, I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
There's
but this
nothing that-
person is like, my identity is Harry Potter.
Right.
And so they feel like you're attacking them.
Well, it's also because they were nerds when they were younger.
But do
They
you feel
were
like
nerds.
do you feel like part of your identity is Harry Potter?
No.
No.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
But I've also like, I used to have like, when I really like in middle school, I loved the band Fall Out Boy. I love them. And when someone who only knew like from Sugar We're Going Down would be like, I love Fall Out Boy, I would get so angry.
That's the sort of mentality
I would
I'm
get so
talking
upset,
about.
and I couldn't figure out why I was upset about that. And I was like, oh, because I think that like this is part of who I am, and they're appropriating, like they're like pretending like they're a part of this group of people, but they're not.
And the
that's
important-
not cool. And then I was like, oh, this is bad.
And the important
Like,
part is
doesn't
that
matter.
The important part is that you were in middle school, where it's these people don't grow up. And if I were to ask someone like, "Hey, what are you into?" and they say a fucking name of any movie, if you say like, "I really love film, I study film," I'm like, "All right, that's a genre, that's an activity, I can understand that." If I ask you what you're into and you say Harry Potter, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And they're like, well, I have a season pass to Universal. I go there and I get butter beer. And you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
what do you mean? Like, if you love film, then you go to the movies every week and you have some fucking fun. If you love Harry Potter, it's always the same. There's nothing new. You've been liking the same thing for too long.
It's interesting. Like I'm opposing your negativity towards this, but at the same time, I draw the line at Disney gays. If you are a Disney gay,
What's
like
a Disney gay?
Gays who are obsessed with going to Disneyland, what you were
That's-
talking about.
Oh,
is
no.
adult
I was
people.
not specifying gay people.
Oh yeah, no, but you just like I don't even have to say Disney gay. It could be Disney adult,
Right.
But
It is interesting that you went.
But although I'm sure there's a really good Pornhub category about Disney adult.
Oh.
Yeah, Jasmine and the Little Mermaid.
That's almost what the
But
Disney
Disney
adult-
gays, like, you should have a warning on your dating profile. Like, these are horrible people who are not contributing to society.
Again, I would just say to me, it's a little odd to be a grown-up person and want to go to a place that is specifically and expressly made for children. Now that's changed recently because of the amount of adults. So they've kind of been like, well, no, you can it's a place for adults now. It's like, well, that was kind of stamped on it in perpetuity.
There is like what you were talking about, the nostalgia aspect. Like, I would never go to Disneyland, but now they have the Star Wars land, and I'm like, I loved Star Wars growing up, and
Loved.
for nostalgia. I mean, I still enjoy that universe. It's fun to me. It makes me feel.
I understand.
Maybe we all need a bit of magic in our lives.
It's just, and that's great.
Then go
Sponsor
fuck.
us, Disney. But it is just, I'm just saying, like, to me, it's a thing I don't understand, which is why I don't outright go like, well, like, fuck nostalgia as a whole. But I do sort of go like, I've never had any desire to go back and like even watch shows that I used to watch as a kid. Or it's the same, like, I don't want to play kickball anymore. I don't want to do, I just don't have any of that, really. It doesn't mean that you can't have, like, whimsy in your, like, life or, like, a childlike wonder in things, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, maybe to me, for my life, it's better to apply that to, like, adult things, like, my current goals of stand-up comedy or like maybe learn something about history.
I'd say this is your Cap Moon, Cap Sun coming into play, where you're saying you're so practical in that I can't go back to the past. I'm never going to be a child again.
Right.
It's never going to give me the same joy that I
Also,
had.
I enjoy
so why
being an
not?
adult so much more.
That's what I don't get, where it's just like, when those people with the Harry Potter people, it just reeks to me of like, I'm a person who's finished being a person. I'm done. I'm Harry Potter.
That is
And
a
it's-
very sorry, I'm just expanding on this thought before I lose it, but that is a very interesting point where there are so many adults, and I experience this like in extensions of my family or people I grew up with, where they've reached a cap of learning and of knowledge and exploring, and so that's what they've said. They've decided like, Disney is where I cap off at. Marvel is where I cap off. Whatever. There might be a correlation to that idea where they're like, I no longer need to learn any more things. This is who I am, and that is very sad.
And like to fucking go on the other end of that, or it's just a fun little thing that you enjoy as an adult, and your life is
And that's
completely
cute.
fine around, and it's cute, and it's like I don't know, but I don't think that that there should be anything in your life that can't be insulted and you get like completely defensive about it. It's just a little odd to me because again, that's just not like, I like a lot of incredibly stupid things, but I'm not going to defend them.
Well, it's because you weren't a fucking nerd growing up, and that's what these people
Oh,
were.
I was
is
a
they were-
huge loser
Yeah, I feel
growing
like Dan
up.
was a
I'm
nerd
talking
growing
about
up.
like
I was a dork, not a nerd.
yeah, I'm talking about like bitch asses. I'm talking about like people who were just like, and then all they had was their little fucking magic wand, and then they grew up and they started hanging out with other people who used to be fucking losers, and now they have their own community, and then they feel accepted, and that's wonderful. But then a fucking grown-up bully comes to him and he's like, oh yeah, you look fucking dumb as shit in that cloak, and they're like, you can't say that to me, and it's like, shut up, you fucking nerd.
You're right.
You've accepted that you're a nerd, so when a bully comes along and calls you a nerd, be proud of it. Be happy about it. Stop trying to fucking change the world around you. Change yourself. Grow up. You didn't change. You found people who also chose not to change. And that's all you fucking did. You dumbass loser. And you work at a fucking startup and you have no substance to you. And so you fill it up with fucking butterbeer and whatever fucking else bullshit you like.
I would love
You
butter.
fucking barefoot wine drinking fucking... Fuck them.
I think that there's a lot more nuance to these people than we're giving them credit.
Of course there is.
These are
But it's also
inventors.
hilarious to call them fucking losers and we're on a podcast.
These are teachers. These are mentors.
Also, there's something about Disney
These are
people.
therapists.
Disney adults seem like people that go home and tell their husband, like, I'm a baby and you're my father and you're gonna fuck me. Like, all those people seem
Well,
like...
there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly.
There
Yeah,
is
it's like-
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna get in a diaper and then you're gonna throw me in the trash. You know, it's like, I don't know. We're also at 45.
Oh yeah, let's do gay straight pan.
Yeah.
Matt.
Why me? I got the monkeypox vaccine, which apparently is gay, and I cleaned up an after-hours party that was had a dark room, and I had to take down
lot of
two
cum.
slings, and they were all looby.
Oh yeah.
What did you do that was pan?
Started dating someone, do not say their name on mic. Because he does that all the time.
No.
Wow.
I learned from my mistakes.
I just feel like with our significant others, we don't need to just say their
Did
name.
Yeah,
you
we don't
start
need to say
dating the
their
person
names.
that I think it is?
Of fucking course is why I said don't say
I
their
haven't
name.
talked to you in like 3 weeks.
I know. I just don't trust you on a mic at all.
Now Cooper,
That's a good person to have a podcast with.
I was siding with you a little bit on the Disney thing. Can I take a moment?
yeah,
I don't think you gave Matt enough credit there.
I didn't because I'm afraid of his quick trigger.
And just know, I don't know if your fear is completely warranted.
Listen, it wouldn't matter if he said her name, but I'm just
So
saying.
we could beep it out.
so it's a her.
But it's nice to not. You know them. But it's nice to not because then,
How
you
do
know.
you know? I don't know. Maybe I forgot it them. So it's a them.
It's a them. It's a they them.
It's a her them. I just say their name. I'm not going.
Yeah, you gave an opening to be very
You're
funny.
dating
Because
Anna
I knew if I
Faris?
didn't, he would have 100% said the name.
Damn,
don't
how
know.
does Chris Pratt feel about that?
feels
Okay, my straight thing that I did recently was not spend enough time. Well, I've spent enough time with my girlfriend, but we had a very long conversation about how we don't do enough things together.
You gonna do more things?
Okay.
No.
You gonna do more
I'm
things?
glad you
I'm
had that
hopefully going to
combo.
start doing more things. We're
Should
going to
go to the
start doing more
Huntington
things.
Library.
We're going to go to the Huntington Library.
I hiked
place.
to Bridge to Nowhere a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Have you
it's
ever
cool.
done that?
Yeah, I've heard it's really
you
cool.
gone
No, I've never done it, but I've heard it's really
it's
cool.
so beautiful. We went at 6 a.m. It was great.
Yeah.
I want to go again soon. It's so wonderful. The clearest water I've seen in Los Angeles. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
do a
beautiful.
podcast trip.
Ooh.
I love that. Have you been to Bridge to Nowhere?
No.
Didn't think so.
Perfect for the podcast.
All right,
trip.
babies. Well, thank you for listening. We'll be back with another episode next week.
Suck it.
Ravenclaw till I die.
Suck it. Fuck you. Suck it. Okay. I think that was good.
That was great.